Hi everyone, welcome back to Alice and the Giant Bookshelf. Today's video is a review of this book, Prophet Song by Paul Lynch. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name's Alice and I have way too many books. And in the interest of getting through the way too many books that I own, I did say in a video quite clearly that I was not going to participate in reading any books for the Booker Prize 2023. However, recently my mum actually got involved in reading the Booker Prize because she watched Jen Campbell's Reading the Booker Prize vlog, and which I also watched and enjoyed, and on the back of that she ordered some of the books from the library, and then she read Prophet Song and told me, you have to read Prophet Song, this is the winner. Now, whether I think my mum is right or not will be the content of this video, sort of, because I'm going to review it and give you my thoughts. Yes, I have broken and read a Booker Prize book. Yes, I have read a library book when I was intending to read from my own shelves in September, but these things happen. I got Booker FOMO. Without any further ado, let's talk about this book. So Prophet Song by Paul Lynch was, as previously mentioned, longlisted for the Booker Prize 2023. And going into that, I had not heard of this book. I don't think it was actually even released at that point. One of my friends, Charlie from CharlieBrookReads, said to me that the one that she thought on paper sounded like my type of book was this one. And I was a bit confused because I didn't actually think this sounded like a book I wanted to read, but I think the word dystopian has been thrown around. Prophet Song, I'm not even sure I'm ready to make a review about it because it has really hit me hard, and I finished reading this today and I've been very emotional about it. So what is this about? Prophet Song is a book set in Ireland, and it involves like a police state sort of situation happening. So we follow a mother called Eilish and how the sort of new state police come to Eilish's house one night looking for her husband. Basically, this is a dystopia, but the dystopia is horribly, terrifyingly real, and very much what I found so emotionally devastating about this book is that so many things that happen in this book are things that genuinely are happening in the world today, and that made me desperately sad. As things escalate in Eilish's life, things happen within her family, within her immediate sphere, and I don't want to ruin this book by going too much into depth on that, so I won't. But Prophet Song follows Eilish, and it follows Eilish in a very interesting style of writing. So this is not in first person, but we are very much in Eilish's thoughts at times. And at first I found this a really difficult book to read because not only does it not have speech punctuation, which is kind of a pet hate of mine, it also, not only that, but it doesn't actually put different people speaking on different lines. There's no indication at any point of who is speaking, and things that people say to each other will be in the same line and everything. And the sentences do run on sometimes and are quite long, and sometimes the sentences even sort of take a couple of tries to read them and get the sense of it right in your head. But that is not to say that it isn't beautiful writing, because it serves its purpose within this book. So I did struggle at first, but as I got further into this book, I realised why this style of writing is there, and I think that this style of writing really helps ramp up the tension and really, really, as life as she knows it kind of dissolves around Eilish and becomes more chaotic and more terrible every day, this style of writing really begins to come into its own, and it almost feels at times like a deluge of thoughts and feelings and everything happening. It makes you almost read it fast and consume it fast, and it kind of keeps pace with what is happening in the book. So the further I read into this, the more the style of writing makes sense. So I would say to anybody who has started this and struggles with the writing style that this does need to be given a fair chance to get past that style. And as I became accustomed to it, so things started to ramp up and this style of writing made more and more sense. What I really loved about this book was that the characters were incredibly real, and although it was written in an unusual style that I had not really come across before, that was one of the things that made it so impactful. So this is a really, really dark, heavy, impactful book that just absolutely knocks you for six. It just makes you feel the emotions of the people in it, and it makes you feel so many things that I can't adequately explain it. What a moving and powerful book this is. I was really quite surprised by that, by the ending. And this is the sort of book where it got to the point I absolutely could not put this down or look away, because the things that were happening were terrible and just absolutely horrific, but I couldn't look away. It was impossible to. There's a lot of things that go unresolved in this. It felt very real. It felt very like life. I thought that what this book did really, really well was its portrayal of this new reality and how it crept up on Eilish and on the people around her. It kind of makes you think of, like, what on earth would you do in this scenario? Yeah, I mean, that was the really scary thing about it, was that far from being a dystopia, this actually felt very realistic, to the point where you felt that this could be happening to someone that you know. Yeah, this book is hard to define. It's a book that is by turns scary, horrifying, and just so hard hitting. But if you can take that, I would recommend this, because I think that this has all the marks of a prize-winning book and a prize-nominated book. Reading it, I really did think, yes, this is the sort of thing that I expect to see on like a Booker Prize list. Obviously, I haven't read any of the other books on the Booker Prize long list, and I don't really expect to read any more before the shortlist is announced. But to me, this feels like a Booker Prize winner, and I say that fully well knowing that that probably means it won't even make it to the shortlist. But I would love to see this win, because I think it's a really well done book, and it's a book that made me absolutely weep. It's a book that will just destroy you. If that sounds like your type of thing, then I think whether you want to read Booker Prize nominated books or not, this is a very thought-provoking read. I think I've probably covered both what I liked and disliked about Prophet Song, because I didn't love the style all the time until I realised what the author was doing with this style. I didn't fully appreciate it, but now I do, if that makes any sense whatsoever. This is undoubtedly one of the strangest reviews that I've probably ever recorded, because I haven't given this book a lot of time to settle. I've just recorded this a couple of hours after finishing it. I will let you know in my wrap up at the end of the month if I have further thoughts about this, but it seems like the sort of book that I'm going to keep thinking about, and it's going to stay with me and I didn't always like the characters, and I did often question decisions in this book, but it was also all too real. Even if you didn't agree with decisions, you could feel why those characters in that particular moment made those decisions. And the tension and suspense that was ramped up in the final third of this book was absolutely so emotional and so both difficult to read, and I wasn't able to put it down. I broke my Booker Prize reading ban, I read Prophet Song, and now I'm emotionally traumatised. So if you have read Prophet Song, let me know in the comments down below. If you think this sounds like your sort of book, also let me know in the comments down below. And if you have enjoyed this review today, please do give it a like. Please do consider subscribing if you haven't already. And I will be back again very soon for another video all about books here on Alice and the Giant Bookshelf. Bye for now.